YTBC student. Now, that is the youngest, baddest uploader who has stepped foot and touched buttons on this thing and has made total sense. And I tell you something, I've seen a lot of them come and go. But YTBC student has now graduated into the midst of the masters.
What up, everybody on YouTube? I'm back at you again with another video that is not particularly about boxing, but it is about our community. And I really want to address this. Now, the individual on the screen, before I say anything about this, I do want to say, if you are subscribed to this individual, I'm not doing this to try to get subscribers to unsubscribe. All right? I want to make that very, very clear. All right? But hopefully by the end of this video, you'll kind of understand why I'm doing this in video form. Because I've tried kind of hashing it out with this individual, and their character is just showing to be that of one that I do not want to associate with. So this is going to be standards part 2 of people and the types of people that I will associate with. All right. So let me give you a little bit of background. So when this individual first started their channel, they were putting in a lot of work. All right. Not saying that they don't currently, but they were putting in a lot of work that I was able to appreciate. All right. And I say that genuinely. But he only had 11 subscribers. So this individual was actually my very first spotlight. And not only that, I was also pushing him to other channels, because I wasn't even a big channel at the time. I had I don't even think I had 100 subscribers yet. But whatever subscriber base I did have, I promoted him to. And then to friends of mine, I kind of pushed him to them saying, hey, can you kind of give him some shine? Because if you check out his videos, he does good work. And I would hate to see that just go unseen, by only, a very, the little subscribers that he had. And they did that. So this is somebody that I have rode with from day one. I may have not been his very first subscriber, but from day one, the very first day that I met this individual, I was down with them and I was promoting them. Mind you, I've never, till this day, I've only asked for subscribers one time, and that's after I put out a disclaimer saying, if you are a person who can, accept other people's opinions, if you are rational and you use critical thinking, I invite you to subscribe to me. That's what I said. I wasn't even pushing the issue really. So, but at the time that this gentleman started their channel, I had never asked anybody to subscribe to me. And I'm over here asking people to subscribe to him. And from time to time, because I was subscribed to a lot of people, but since I have actually subscribed from a lot of people, but because I had so much subscriptions, of course I didn't watch every one of his videos. There's really no one that I watch every one of their videos. I try my best to support everybody that I'm subscribed to, but I have very limited time. I mean, there's times where I'm in my car driving recording my videos, because if I don't do it then, it'll never get done. So when it comes to watching videos, I have to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very, I kind of have to be selective. I have to pick what is really going to be what I'm going to watch or listen to at that time, because I don't always necessarily watch the video. Sometimes I'm just listening. I'll be cooking or whatever I'm doing, I'll be listening to y'all's videos. But anyways, so he put out this video about Kell Brook and Errol Spence. Oh, and one more thing before I continue. Now, after he had, gotten big and surpassed me in subscribers, I've said it multiple times that I'm proud of him, because he does put in a lot of work. And I was very happy for him that he, was able to grow at such a great pace. After the growth, I've had a couple people come and tell me that he's a flomo and that he's this and that. And every time somebody came to me with some information like that, I would tell them, that has not been my experience with him. My experience with him has always been good. He's always been fair. He's always been balanced. And we all have our fighters that we are going to be biased toward. That's why whenever I talk about Keith Thurman, I let y'all know I am going to be somewhat biased toward Keith Thurman. I don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I'm just going to throw fairness out the window. But when it comes to Keith Thurman, Triple G, certain fighters, I will let you know, hey, this is my perspective, and it's from a biased one. I let you know that because I feel it's my responsibility to let you know that. So, but multiple times people have either commented on my videos or have told me about him, and I tell them, hey, if that's been your experience, that's your experience. But as for me, I always go off of my experiences with people. And that has not been my experience with him. So, please don't, whatever hard feelings you have toward him, that's fine. But it's not, I don't want it, basically I didn't want it spread over to me, because I'm not just going to take you at your word for it. I'm going to take him on his own merit, on what he has shown me. And that goes for anybody. Because I've had people tell me about other people, and I always say the same thing, that my experience has not been yours. And we'll leave it at that. So anyways, I make a comment on one of his videos, and it wasn't even negative. I was just, he mentioned the full fight review thing, and that's something that really does irk me. And all I did was comment about it, but I wasn't saying it toward him like, oh, what are you still doing? Because I even said, if you have, 10, if you're under like 10 or 20,000 subscribers even, I can understand it. I mean, I don't do it, but if that's what you feel you have to do to promote yourself, cool, whatever, But that's all I was saying. I wasn't directing it toward him or anybody else. It was just a statement. So then he comes out with this something about me unsubscribing and now I'm back because he's not pushing the narrative he was pushing before. And I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, this has got to be a joke. This has got to be a mistake. So I gave him benefit of the doubt and I said, hey, I never unsubscribed. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the growth you've been able to achieve. I'm proud of what you've done here. And I consider you to be not just an acquaintance, but a friend. To a certain extent, because like I said, I've never hung out with anybody here on YouTube. So I'm not going to act like we're all buddy and everything, but to an extent, I did consider him to be a friend. And I said, I'm sorry and I apologize if I've given you if I've done anything to make you feel like I've unsubscribed. So then, nothing happens. No response. No sign of respect. Doesn't even acknowledge that he was wrong about me. And I find a problem with that. See, these videos about standards, which I didn't plan on making it into a series or anything like that. That's not what my intention was when I made the first standards video, which this is part 2. I never planned on making a part 2. But when people treat you a certain way, you treat them with respect, but they refuse to reciprocate and return that respect. I find a big problem with that. I really do. And I waited like at least a couple days, but it was probably closer to a week. I didn't really look at when me and him had this conversation and when I put my next reply, because I did look just to see, okay, did he, at least acknowledge that he was wrong. I saw that there was still no reply. And I'm not saying that the guy owes me anything. But I do feel that when somebody has gone out of their way to promote you and has been nothing but respectful towards you, that you do owe them at least a little bit of respect. I don't think that is really wrong of me to expect that. I don't think it's a ridiculous expectation. I think it's fair for me to assume that. I let them know. I never unsubscribed from you. So there was no need for me to come back because I never left. All right? And this just really says something about your character. Really does. I mean, for somebody who is the self-proclaimed fact king, is willing to disrespect me on something that he has no facts on. It's not based off of fact. It's based off of bullshit. And like I said, I don't like being bullshitted. Nobody can tell me that I'm wrong because I won't allow somebody to bullshit me. Now he has something like over 1,600 subscribers or something like that. And I understand there's probably a lot of fake people who go on his videos and comment. But here's something that you should know, being that you're so keen on facts. I'm not one of those fake lackeys that come on your videos and get butthurt just because you have an opinion. If anything, my reputation shows that I respect everybody's opinion to the point where people think I'm too lenient. A lot of people don't agree that I respect Coach Shelton Harrison because they say he pushes an agenda. He badmouths Triple G to no end. But you know what? I have never once went on there and called him a hater. Never once went on there and insulted him because of his opinion. And with somebody that I would consider myself tighter with than Coach Shelton Harrison, if you think that Coach Shelton Harrison, who is really an acquaintance that I respect, if I wouldn't insult him or get mad at him over his opinion over my, a fighter that is one of my favorite fighters, why would you think I would unsubscribe from you, who I consider to be more of a friend, over a fighter that is not one of my favorite fighters? I like Kell Brook. I don't have a problem with Kell Brook. But if I up anybody at 147, it's Keith Thurman. And I do that over Kell Brook. If they fight, I would say it's more of a 50-50 fight, but I would want Keith Thurman to win. So what would make you think that I would unsubscribe to you just because you had some ill opinion on Kell Brook? It doesn't make any sense. But here's where we're at now. You've shown that you have no respect for those who are kind to you, who try to be a good friend to you. I've never even said anything negative toward this guy, to be honest. And I've defended him. But this is the treatment that I get back. So where we're at is this, all right? You want to accuse me of unsubscribing from you? You pride yourself on being the fact king, so let's go ahead and just make that a fact. So I've gone ahead and reciprocated. You apparently like all the fake people who will come onto your channel, and I'm not saying everybody who comments on this channel are fake, because there's definitely good people like Duke Oden. He's a cool guy. I have no problem with Duke Oden. Like I said, I'm not even doing this video to try to get people to unsubscribe. But there is a standard that I'm going to hold all my associations to. And this guy does not meet that standard. So I've gone ahead and, made sure that he stays the fact king by now doing what he accused me of doing to begin with. But I do want to end this video on a high note, because I feel that there is something that I did not address in my first standards video that I think really needs to be said. Now, even though I'm letting you know I'm not going to put up with people who want to bullshit me. If you want to bullshit me, then bye. That's all I got to say. Bye. Don't even waste your time. But I will say this. As much as I can't stand people who bullshit me and try to bullshit me, I am somebody who does believe in second chances. All right? I am somebody who does believe that people can change. And it would be hypocritical of me not to allow somebody to, come out and say, I was wrong, or, things got out of hand or whatever. And this isn't directly toward this guy in the screenshots. This is just in general now. This goes out to anybody who you see that I don't talk to you no more. That even includes that dude who accused me of being racist with absolutely no evidence whatsoever. This even goes out to him. All right? If you want to mend things with me, if you want to be cool with me again, you got to DM me. That's my standard for trying to hash things out. You want to hash things out? I don't have a problem with that. I'm a man. I'm not going to hold a grudge. If you're man enough to come and try to hash things out with me, you don't even have to say that I was right. All you got to do is be willing to say, hey, I respect you enough where I think we can bury this and we could be cool again. But you got to DM me. If, like I said, you show me that you're willing to hash things out, I'm man enough to say, all right, we're cool. But one thing I will not do, because I will be one who stands alone before I ever do this, is I will not associate myself with people who will either backstab me or try to feed me bullshit to my face. That is something that is not negotiable. Anyways, I spent longer on this video than I really wanted to. Right now, I'm just cleaning house. All right, I feel that I've just been a little bit too lenient. I've let too much stuff go. And then just for people to either try to backstab me or feed me bullshit, I'm not doing it no more. You want to associate with me? Here's the standard. If you don't meet that standard, I'm sorry. Bye.
I am so authentic. I'm so authentic. They trying to figure me out, but this is not a gimmick. Hi, hip hop. Don't act like you don't know me. What? We got the same mama. Don't you try to disown me. I'm just a mixed breed. Call me a day walker. Cause I walk in the sun, but at night I'm a stalker. If you looking for blood, come run in my lane. The vein never runs dry. There's plenty of it, man. I speak an ancient language. They don't understand me. It's called the truth. I break it down. They try to reprimand